Cascade Hoops Talk, bringing the world NAIA basketball one podcast at a time. Cascade Hoops Talk, this is Billy D. Hey, today we're going to go over to Multnomah University. They're in Portland, Oregon. They play in the Cascade Conference. Multnomah has always had very exciting teams. They score a lot of points. They've always struggled to get into that playoff race there in the Cascade Conference. This season they have a new head coach. His name is Teo Jem, and we're going to speak to him. He's really turned the team over. He kept 3 guys and he brought in 9. He only has 12 guys coming into the season, but he's tried to do a complete rebuild of that team. Also, we're going to speak to Quinn Curry. He's been around the program since 2017. He kind of became the face of the program the last couple of years, and he has pretty good insight, so we wanted to speak to him as well. So why don't we go ahead and speak to Teo Jem, and then in a separate video, we'll show you the podcast with Quinn Curry. Thank you. Cascade Hoops Talk, this is Billy D. Hey, I'm over here at Multnomah University in Portland, Oregon. I drove down Highway 30, down the band field, and here I am.
Yes,
I'm with Teo Jem. He's the new head coach here at Multnomah University. First time I got to meet you, and very nice that you invited me out here for your media day. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're happy to have you.
So, your first year head coach, Multnomah has had good teams. Mm-hmm. They've had a little bit of trouble breaking into that top half of the Cascade Conference. You brought in a lot of transfers.
Yes,
I'm anxious to talk to you about some of them. But just talk about the team that you've put together for this year.
Yeah,
just in general.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, brought back 3 returners. Mm-hmm. Brought back Tyrese, Taylor, Neelan Block, and then Monday. Those are our 3 returners. And that brought in 9 new faces. So we're rolling with 12 players this year. It's a little bit smaller group. But, this team is just loaded with talent.
Yeah.
Loaded with talent. We've got some transfers. And we'll talk more about those players later. But, really for me, taking over a program and really I've been pushing these guys to really rebrand the program and really just, kind of change the face of this program, both on the court and as well off the court. So we're really excited about that.
So Teo, when you talk about rebranding the program, in your mind, are there 2 or 3 key words that you're really trying to drive home?
Yes, we've got the saying, it's up in our locker room, it's competitive stamina. It's just those key words, when we throw those out there, we talk about being competitive and having a stamina throughout that, whether it's, throughout the game or even off the court, being able to be competitive on a consistent basis.
Before we talk about the players, one thing that you've always had here is really good student and fan and local support as well. Talk about even games where you struggle. I mean, the fans stay and they cheer right up to the end.
Yeah.
Talk about your fan base and the students here.
Yeah, my experience here last year as an assistant coach, I saw that, obviously the results on the scoreboard weren't what we wanted, but the fan base continued to be in support regardless. Being a small school of only about 350 students, this is a very family, community-oriented school. And so, supporting as much as possible, being able to, come to the games. A lot of our guys, we go and support other sports teams because it's really, we want to support each other. But it's just been a lot of fun, just even during this off season, being in the community or even on campus and talking about it. Everybody's very excited to come to the gym and just see the team that we have and bring that type of energy to support us. And we're going to get some dubs this year too.
As you said, you assisted here last season, but just so that we were talking before we started, just so people know, you played in the Cascade Conference at Cascade when it was still open. It was just a few blocks from here, right?
Yeah.
Talk about your experience in the Cascade Conference.
Yes. As soon as I got here as an assistant coach, that was the first thing I told people. I was like, I'm just so excited to be back at the Cascade Conference, a very competitive conference. When I played back in 2005 to 2008 at Cascade, it was just as competitive. And so it's been nice being back to it. Looks the conference looks a little bit different. There's some teams that are different that weren't in the conference last year, but it still is one of the most competitive conferences in the country. And I enjoyed my time at Cascade. Cascade is a very similar school as Multnomah. It was a very small Christian school, only about 300 students. In my time there, it was very well spent there. I definitely enjoyed my time there. Didn't have the success that I really wanted to on the court, but built a lot of good relationships and just being able to have the experiences of being able to go to the different.
So when you came over here to Multnomah, you knew all about the travel and going to Caldwell and having to drive into Klamath Falls.
Yes, sir.
Those long, horrible bus trips, having to play in front of the students at Eastern and College of Idaho and Oregon Tech and playing in that tiny gym up in Northwest. It's a pretty unique conference, isn't it? It
is. It's definitely, it was bringing back flashbacks every time we went to every time we went to a gym just this past year, just bringing flashbacks. Guys even now talk about the kind of like where are the places to play at. And I always name OIT as always one of the toughest places to play at just because of the culture that they've established there over the years. Obviously, College of Idaho and that situation, and that system that they've got up there. But playing back-to-backs, right? That's one of the toughest challenges. A lot of colleges, they go like Thursday, Saturday schedule, and we're that Friday, Saturday. So being able to travel that Friday and then playing a game and then getting up in the morning and traveling to the next one, it's a huge challenge. I think it goes back to that competitive stamina and being able to build our endurance to stay competitive.
Talking about the gyms, though, I got to ask you about, to me, the toughest place to go in is Northwest because they don't hold very many fans, but there's something about the acoustics in that place that it is super loud. And it's short. The court is short. They deny it, but the court is short. Yeah. And they build their teams for that court. I think it's a tough place to win.
Yeah, it's very old school, very small, but when it gets packed, you can hear every single thing. And when we were up there just this past year, we had probably one of our best starts. We jumped on them like 22-8 or something like that. And you could feel the energy in the gym as they were starting to come back. And it's a fun gym. I like those old school gyms where it's just like, it feels like, the fans are right there. Our bench was right there. The fans are right there. It's just that's a fun place.
They're right on top of you up there. And then another gym that's a lot like it, but doesn't have the same acoustics is just down the street here at Warner Pacific. I went to both those games where you played Warner Pacific last year, and those were two instant classics. You ended up falling in both of them, but boy, those were good basketball games. You got a good rivalry with Warner Pack.
Definitely. And it goes back to what you asked me about, my playing days. And the first thing I told these guys was Warner Pack is that's the game, right? Yeah. That's the inner city rival, 5 minutes down the street.
Yeah, exactly. You can walk there.
Exactly. And very competitive. The environment, it's small gym, a lot of energy in both places. And I'm really looking forward to that, being in a new position here. I'm going to take that a little bit personal, that game.
Jermaine will be ready for you.
Oh, yeah. So, when we talked last year a little bit, I kind of gave him that look. Like, I can't wait. So
let's talk about this group you have this year. And you really can't talk about them without talking about Tyrese Taylor and Nylan Block. And they're two of the better players in the conference. Tyrese Taylor could be arguably the strongest guy in the NAI, just pure strength. And Nylan Block has one of the quickest first steps I've ever seen. And, he can do just about everything. Talk about that pair that you're kind of building around. They're both seniors this year, right?
Sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Both of those guys are special talent. They're special talent. And with Tyrese Taylor, I remember when I first got this job and I had gotten in, contact with a handful of the coaches and saw him at the NWAC tournament, and they all said, I haven't found anybody to stop Tyrese. And that's just kind of been that just that message that I've gotten, with Tyrese. Phenomenal. We saw last year, Tyrese isn't just this pounded down low post player. He's been able to extend his game more towards the 3-point. So we're really trying to surround him because we saw a lot of double teams and triple teams last year with him where he's catching the ball and he's just getting swarmed. we're looking to kind of expand that game as we've added a 7-footer on our team, and we'll talk about him in a minute. And Nealon, I've told a lot of people this. Nealon has the opportunity to be the player of the year in our conference. I fully believe it. He led the league last year in assists. He was like top 5 in the country in assists. But he's not just a one-on-one player. He is a type of player to where he can get his whole team involved. And I have high expectations for Nealon. Nealon has been more focused this year than I probably have seen a lot of players coming into their senior year. And I've talked to people in the past who knew Nealon the last 2 years in the season, and they have high expectations. So, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him really
He's
showcase
super
his
athletic.
talent. Absolutely. So,
I was watching some film. I took some video when you guys played Warner Pacific here.
mm-hmm.
And there was one play where I don't remember who from Warner Pacific was guarding Tyrese, but he kind of bumped him back, gave him a little elbow. He came. I had to show my friend the video. The defender, his feet came off the ground that far, and he just bumped him. The strength is incredible.
And it just goes to that. And I think, for me as a coach is really allowing Tyrese to really just do his thing, and just being able to, support him as much as possible, give him, the tools around him so he doesn't feel like he has to do everything on his own. But I'm just really excited to see him really end his career here at Multnomah on top.
Now, you mentioned the guy from Point, Javier Turner.
Javier Turner. Yeah, Javier Turner. Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me. That's the last time I'll make that mistake. But he's a senior.
Yes.
He's coming over from Point, so he has a lot of NAI experience. He's a big dude.
Yes.
That's going to be pretty valuable to have another big guy that you can spell Tyrese with. Talk about Javier.
Absolutely. Javier, he's...
Javier.
Yeah, Javier. Yeah, I had to make sure we...
I'll get it.
Javier, 7-footer from Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
He was Defensive Player of the Year last year in this conference. And just... he has had such a huge impact with this team. Just having that other big presence inside is going to help tremendously. It's going to help take the pressure off of Tyrese, I believe. And the offense that we're going to be running this year is going to be more of just a spread offense and being able to get the ball moving some more. Javier can run the floor. He's a rim-to-rim runner. He'll come down, block your shot, run down, catch a lob for a dunk. He's that type of player. He just has natural instincts on the defensive end, and we're really working him towards the offensive side of really just being in that dunker spot. And again, it allows us to really utilize Tyrese in a variety of ways, going inside, but then also extending it on the outside.
There's 2 other seniors you're bringing in. James Sanders, he's been playing for the Denver Pioneers. He's been playing D1 ball. He comes up here. This is his grad year. The guy can play.
Absolutely. I would say he's probably our best two-way player on our team. He's the type where he'll be able to defend the best player offensively on their end, but he can turn around on the other end and give you a wide range of offense, both on the inside and the outside. He had just shown tremendous, you could tell he's very seasoned. He's had a lot of experience at the Division I level, and it's going to give him a huge advantage here at this level.
And then another guy you're bringing over, he played at both Victoria College, Angelo State, is Miles McAdory?
Yep.
McAdory. He's coming over as a grad year as well, right?
Yeah.
5th year?
Yep, 5th year. Miles, again, bringing that veteran,
right.
Experience there. Miles has been a huge leader in the locker room, huge leader on the court, just being able to lead by example. He's going to be the type of player to where, when things aren't going as planned on the court, he's the type to recognize it and be able to get guys together and be able to kind of control some things. If we need something that just is a basketball instinct, he's the type to be able to do that based off of experience. And we're very, very...
he's played a ton of college basketball.
Absolutely. We're very blessed to have him as a part of our team as well.
And then a local guy who's been playing at... He was, I think he played at Lower Columbia before he went out to Bellevue. Did he? Yeah, he played at Lower Columbia. Or did he play at Bellevue first? Pomeroy.
Taylor
Yeah.
Palmer. Yeah, so he was at Lower Columbia first, and then he went out to
Bellevue.
Yeah,
he had a pretty good year out of Bellevue. He was a scholar athlete. He's a good student.
Absolutely.
But he's from Lincoln. He's a local kid. Talk about Taylor.
Yeah, definitely. Taylor being a local kid from Portland. That was one of my biggest things, getting into this position. I wanted to bring in some more local guys, so I brought in a couple of Portland guys. But Taylor's a guy that held his own in the PIL. Averaged 20 plus a game, and went up to Lower Columbia and again handled business up there. Then went to Bellevue, one of the best 3-point shooters that they've had in their school there.
He hit 134 threes last season. He shot 45%.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's what. So we're really excited for that. But also, what Taylor has really shown in these first week of practice is he's also can get to the lane. He can also create for his teammates. So being able to obviously knock down the threes, as we have talked about off camera, being able the importance of the 3-point shooting is that he's also able to get to the lane and be able to contribute. And he's turning out to be a really solid defender.
And then kind of rounding out your schedule, 2 more local guys. Keelan Vance. He went to Jefferson. He went down and played at Riverside College, and then he went to Lower Columbia. And then Kadeem Nelson, he played at De La Salle. He's been down at Lynn Benton. So talk about those guys.
Yeah. So Keelan Vance, Portland Jefferson High School, Keelan. If you ask anybody in Portland about Keelan Vance, they would say he's probably one of the best scorers that Portland's ever had. Footwork is phenomenal. Once he gets in this zone of scoring, I just let him go. I just just let him go. He's going to be huge for us when we are going to be needing that offense and being able to those quick points. He's a type where hit 2 or 3 threes in a row and coaches are calling timeout immediately. He has that type of ability. We're working with him on the defensive side. He's really starting to want to improve on his defense. But more importantly with him, he's wanting to be more than just an open gym type player. He's really wanting to learn how to play the best college basketball that he can play. We're really excited for him. And then Kadeem Nelson, another local kid. He last year he was actually at San Francisco City Community
College.
Right.
He played at San Francisco.
Yeah. They just got done playing in the state championship game down there. He was he was here locally before that, but I do believe that year that he had down at San Francisco City College was a huge help for him. Right. He developed a shot now, and so he's a point guard. We're hoping that him and Neelan can really, really work together. And really, I'm wanting Neelan to just give Kadeem all of his tools and everything that he's learned, because Kadeem's like that 6'5" guard that really is that pass first guard, get it off the rim and go. Those 2 guys are going to be a huge part of our
So Teo, this is the $64,000 question. Okay. These especially the transfers are very talented. And you get Neelan, you got Tyrese. One of the toughest things to do in basketball is bring a diverse group in, get them to play together and win. Talk to me about it. How are you going to make that work?
Absolutely. It sounds very simple, but it's going to be a very challenging thing. And it's the biggest challenge that I said is that I've established a culture of what I believe should be the best culture for this team to be successful on and off the court. It's the same message that I gave these guys during recruiting. This program hasn't really had any success off the court, right? It's been this type of program. Why not be the first to really do something special with this group? And I've got a lot of seniors. I've got a lot of guys that have had different experiences. It's like, let's just all buy in. Everybody's got to sacrifice. And that's been the best part about this group is I've got talent in that locker room. Everybody has been their top starter on their teams and everything like that, but they're willing to come here because they know, let's just try to do something a bit different. Let's make some history here. But more importantly, let's just be able to have this experience moving forward. And I think the biggest thing is being able to sacrifice. Everybody has sacrificed something in there. And I was trying to tell these guys, I said, if everybody does their part, everybody's going to have fun. Everybody's going to enjoy. Everybody's going to be able to get the individual spotlight. On Friday night, it might be Miles one night. And then on Saturday, it might be Nealon one night. We're going to have a variety of guys where it's going to be their night. And the best part is that locker room is going to support each other every day.
Before I let you go, Quinn Curry has done a fabulous job. He played here. He's kind of become the face of the program over the last few years. You're coming in, you're a new coach. Obviously, you were here last year as assistant, but Quinn is kind of the continuity of the program. What does his presence mean for you?
It means a lot. A quick backstory. When I first got here at Multnomah, and meeting Quinn, young guy, right, in his 20s. Initially, it was presented to me that he was kind of the ops guy of the team. He kind of just scheduled stuff. He kind of just, made sure.
I think that was his job title last year.
The year before I got here, the year before, I'm assuming. So when I came in, that was kind of what was told to me, and so I kind of just moved that way. We didn't really have much of conversations, and it was one day when we were in practice, we sat down, we kind of just had this conversation, and he literally was. You could tell he was much more than just the ops guy.
Yeah.
And the good part about our situation last year is me being named as a head coach fairly early. It was really before our season really got going.
That's right. Yeah.
Quinn and I got to spend the whole year together, being able to build a relationship. And as time went on, I just clearly, my first move that I wanted to do, I was like, I told Quinn, I said, "You're my guy. You're my guy. You're going to be my assistant. You're going to be my go-to." And he is so much more than what originally was kind of told to me. He's going to be a wonderful head coach one day. And I've been so blessed to have him be a part of my coaching staff. He does everything. He loves watching film. I love watching film. He loves doing scouting reports. I do scouting reports. We were just texting last night, and he's texting me all these clips of different players of like, hey, like, let's try this. Let's do this. What do you think? And I'm really letting him go. Like, I'm, in practice, he's leading a lot of stuff, because he has so much skills to add to our team. And I'm just truly blessed to have it. And he has a great relationship with guys. And as we all know, even for me, a big challenge that I've faced is going from an assistant coach to a head coach is the relationships change with players. And so having an assistant coach such as Quinn be a part of coaching staff and being able to have a relationship with my guys, it's been really helpful. And then obviously I added another assistant coach who is, starting to build those relationships with those guys.
I look forward to, I'm going to take a few minutes with him as well today. Teo, I really appreciate one more time. I appreciate you inviting me over here. I look forward to getting to talk and meet to some of your guys. But this is great that you kind of open up the gym and let me come over today. And thank you very much.
Absolutely. Anytime we want to come by and check us out, everything. Obviously, you'll be at the games, and I'm just really excited to see what we got.
Well, you're not too far a drive, so I can, you and Waterpack, I could.
Anytime.
So we'll have to check out your schedule. Teo Jam.
Appreciate you.
Multnomah basketball. Multnomah Lion basketball.
Absolutely. Go Lions.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much to Multnomah University head coach Teo Jam and assistant Quinn Curry for all their assistants over there at Multnomah University. Really enjoyed spending some time over there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.